Welcome to our daily reflection for this Wednesday, April 3rd. And today we have an incredible story, and I think it's so providential. This great event of Jesus rising from the dead, which is going to shake Jerusalem and the world, basically, as the news gets out, is followed by, sometimes you have a big earthquake event, and there's aftershocks. And this is what I would call the big aftershock that kind of validates Easter and the resurrection and the message of the resurrection. Pentecost has happened, and Peter and John have been preaching that Jesus and proclaiming that Jesus is risen from the dead. And that's a hard thing to get one's mind and heart around, that Jesus, the one that Jerusalem saw crucified and hanging on a cross, that he's alive and walking and already resurrected, that's just extraordinary. And yet I think what the Lord does in his providential plan, he allows Peter and John to perform a great miracle, a great sign that validates their message, and it validates the power of the name of Jesus Christ, because it's done in the name of Jesus. And that is a man who was a cripple from birth, right? Never walked in his life. And so as he grows up, he's there begging at the temple, and they take him to the gate that's called the Beautiful Gate. And it's uncertain, but I surmise that this gate, which is closer to a lot of an easier gate to enter, especially for those who are wealthy, that this gate probably had a higher entrance fee. And it wasn't the main gate, but it was an expensive gate. It was probably pretty adorned. It was known as the Beautiful Gate. And of course, if that's where the wealthy are entering, that's the best place to beg for alms, right? And so this man had been there his whole life, and now he's an adult. And he's been begging there at that gate, and he has to be carried there and carried away. So everybody who lives in Jerusalem, basically, here's the point, and everybody knows him. So many people have seen him their whole life, his whole life. They've seen this man begging as a cripple at that gate. And now, as Peter and John are walking by, he begs for them for alms. He looks to them. And Peter says, "Look at us." Now, usually what happens if someone doesn't want to give alms, they don't look at somebody who's begging. And Peter and James tell this man, "Hey, look at us," And so he makes eye contact with hope, right, that he's going to get alms, but he's going to get so much more than that. And then Peter, at first, might have put some cold water on his hopes. Peter says, "Gold and silver, I have none." All right, I'm not going to give you alms, basically. So, all right, he's probably disappointed at that point, but now he's going to be pleasantly surprised, because Peter's going to say, "But what I do have, I give you. In the name of Jesus of Nazareth, rise and walk." And the man, for the first time in his life, stands up and can walk with two strong and healed legs. That is extraordinary. And it's beautiful because this is a sign that's indisputable, right? This is a sign that everybody has to see. And this kind of echoes the great sign that Jesus had done in Jerusalem not that long ago of healing the man born blind, right? And that kind of shook Jerusalem. And now the man who was born crippled is healed by the disciples of Jesus and in the name of Jesus of Nazareth, right? And he walked and stood around, and they recognized him. And everyone was filled with amazement and astonishment. And now they're going to listen afresh and anew to Peter and John's incredible message that Jesus is risen from the dead, and that it was in his name, because Jesus has power at the right hand of the Father to heal and do miracles, and that this testimony is actually true. Jesus is truly risen from the dead. That is astonishing, and that should give us great hope and joy. And so as we reflect on this, I think of the story that the Pope in the time of St. Thomas Aquinas took him into the Vatican and showed him all the riches, and he said, "No longer can we say, 'Gold and silver we have none.'" To which Thomas Aquinas is told to reply, "Yes, Holy Father," which is why we can no longer say, "Rise and walk." In other words, we need to depend fully on God, right? And so we need to be divested of the things of this world and invested that our true possession, our true treasure, is the name of Jesus Christ and what can happen in that name. You have that treasure. You have the name of Jesus. When you pray and ask God the Father in the name of Jesus, You have a profound treasure and power right at your fingertips and right on your lips. Use it. Use that name. Employ that treasure to ask the Father for whatever grace and healing you or others need in faith. That is a precious treasure indeed. Don't forget that you have it. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.